Sorry about that. My daughter just came home, so right in the middle of his video, and I wasn't expecting her for another hour. But anyway, where was I at? I think I was up to 22. I think I just started it. Yeah. So 22 was to cook. So I haven't done it for years. I haven't been able to do it for years. Well, actually, not properly cook, but I did some baking. When was it? It was actually when my mum and dad came here last, which was, I think, a year ago in June. They came up just before my birthday. And I made some pies and scones because my mum always liked my pies and scones, even though she taught me. So, but I'd really like to sort of cook, make a meal and stuff. Now that I can get in the kitchen, it's obviously something that could be possible. I'm not really sure how I would work with the benches and things like that, but my daughter would probably help me. So, yeah. And number 23 is to try some new recipes. Again, this obviously is something I'd like to do, and it's something that my daughter would probably help with as well. Number 24 was to go and see my dog run. Now, I've actually done this. I did this on the 19th of June, and I have done it a few times since as well. Jasper absolutely loves to run. He's 5 now. He's just gone 5, and this year has been the first time I've been able to do it. He's a lurcher, so he's got the legs for the running. Number 25 was to go to the beach, and guess what I did today? Yeah, I went to the beach. Honest to God, it was so amazing. And even though it was absolutely freezing, and it was just brilliant to be able to get there again. I don't really live that far from it. It's probably 5-10 minutes in a car, and right along the coast road. So what we did was we went through Roker Park, which I hadn't been there since the kids were young, and there's like a duck pond in there, and so we went through there, and there's a bit of grass area, so Jasper got a little bit of run, and then we came out the other end, which leads you onto the coast road. So we walked down the coast road, and you could see all the beach and the sea. I mean, the sea was quite far in. It was absolutely brilliant, absolutely freezing, but totally worth it. Number 26 is to go out for a meal. I've never been to a proper restaurant ever, like not a proper posh restaurant. Years and years ago, being out for pub meals, and since being able to get in the wheelchair again, I've been to Tesco's Cafe, and there's also a little cafe in the park near us. But I haven't ever been to a proper restaurant. So I'd really like to do that. Number 27 is to give blood. I signed up for this. I'm not really sure, because I've got certain issues with my thyroid and things like that, as to whether I am actually able to do it, but hopefully I can. Number 28 is to carry a donor card. I also need to, I don't know if I've looked into this yet, but I need to and sign up, because it's no use to me when I've gone and a friend of mine, when he passed away, he'd donated his organs, and he's saved lives, you know what I mean. And so, like I said, I don't need them for anything, so I'll be happy to do if there's anything that is worth them having. Number 29 is to go into the town centre, well, city centre. So I've never been into the town centre for think it must be like 12 years or something, probably when I last went into a shop. And obviously it will have changed quite a lot, but it would be nice to sort of get into the town and see what it's like. Number 31, oh sorry, number 30, I'm jumping ahead here. Number 30 is to go to a car boot sale. I always have, I've always loved to go to car boots and charity shops and auctions and things, especially when I was younger. We used to do it a lot as a family, and there's just loads of things you can get and be able to have a nice rummage. I mean, I'd be there for ages if ever I ever got one, and there is a few where I live, but at the moment it's just not a possibility. They're too far to go there directly in my wheelchair, and at the moment I've got no way of transporting there in any other way. Number 31 is to buy streets. No, not going to buy streets. Well, I wouldn't mind if I had the money, but it was buy clothes from the high street. I actually really don't think I've done this since I was in my teens, because I was just horrified. I was horrified of people knowing what size I was and things like that. And I mean, I'm going from being a size sort of 14, 16, 18, you know what I mean? And God, I'd give anything to be that now, but you know, at the time I'd have been horrified, so I pretty much did all shopping in catalogues, you know. And although I have bought online from a high street, so like Yours Clothing, they do have high street shops. Kind of doesn't it? It kind of counts, doesn't it? Number 32 is to challenge my writing. Like I said, I love to write. So challenging it with being given subjects, either for poems or short stories, just to be able to stretch my imagination a bit more. Well, it probably doesn't need stretching, but I've always been able to do that. Like, I've been given words and stuff. It's what helped with my mental health. Excuse me. The support worker who I had in the hospital, because obviously going through the things that you love to do, and she asked us what I used to love to do, and obviously I told her about writing, so she challenged us by giving us some words, and I put it into a poem, and that was kind of like the first thing I did to get back into it, and eventually, you know, my love came back for it, type of thing. So yeah, I'd like to do more of that. Number 33 is to visit at least 5 different places. So I know that's not very specific, but underneath I wrote a little bit, which is to kind of say that, I mean, I'd love to like tour the UK a little bit, sort of go up to Scotland, go down south, go down to Wales, go across to Ireland. I mean, I'd love to be able to, you know, whether that is something that's possible before I'm 50, I hope so. I really hope so. Number 34 is to stand up again. And to be honest, number 35 is to walk. So I'm not sure. I mean, I'm going to give every single thing I can to be able to do that. I'm going to, obviously the consultant is going to replace my knees at the moment. It's just not a possibility. I need to lose more weight first and blah blah blah. But if it is all possible, and if I get my knees done and they're not too bad, that there's nothing to replace them to, as it were, then I will put every single bit of everything I've got to get back up to walk and stand, like standing and then walking again, because having that back would be phenomenal. I mean, I've stood and walked twice. Well, I've stood and walked once, and I've stood again, but I haven't gotten any further since then, and it's been just over a year. And honest, it would just be everything. It's kind of like the ultimate thing, isn't it? Number 36 is to have like a pamper day, but in a like a spa or somewhere, or actually go somewhere to get my hair done and nails done and a facial or whatever. That would be really nice. Number 37 is to speak in public. It's weird because I have this recurring dream, and in the recurring dream, I'm doing like a talk in front of loads of people, and it's about mental health and stuff like that. And obviously, doing the videos was something that would like absolutely terrified us. Taking photos used to terrify us. So, standing up in loads of people, in front of loads of people and things like that, all your mistakes and in what you say and stutters and all those things will be there, but I just want to conquer that fear. And I also want to tell people, and especially people who have issues with mental health, that things can improve, because I would never have believed that I could feel this way I do, and yeah, I do. So things can change. Number 38 is to go out for afternoon tea. Again, it's not something I've done. I did it in the house for my sister's hen do. Well, we had two hen do's in my house. One, I wasn't able to go outside at the time, and I wasn't able to go to our wedding, so I decided to put on two hen do's. The through the day one was for the older generation, let's say. And I did an afternoon tea, and we had all the trimmings of that. And then the night one was for the younger generation, that I say, and we had like an 80s theme party. So yeah, I'd really like to go out properly somewhere for afternoon tea. So number 39 is to write a song. So as I said, I mentioned about the keyboard. It's always something that I've wanted to do, just to spark some emotion in other people. That would be like amazing. you know, to hear someone sing it back, that would be amazing as well. Yeah. So number 40 was to do a post on YouTube. Guess I did that one. So I achieved this on I think it's the 24th of August. It's weird because the first time I did it, all I did was like wiggle my feet. It was kind of my way of like coping with doing what I was doing. And I've actually stopped doing that now. And I can't believe like the response I've had. It's been amazing, really amazing. I know I have had a few like idiots along the way, but in comparison to the positivity, it's been like, it doesn't even exist, that other side of it, because and like there's just this massive part of us now that just doesn't care. Like that sort of thing would have sent us in a spiral down, but like now I'm just like, you don't matter in my life, so I'm not going to get like upset about you or anything like that. Number 41 is to be half the person I was. That's in weight, by the way, only, obviously. And I'm not far away from that, to be honest. So yeah, fingers crossed I'll get there soon. Number 42 is to make something. Now, that's not very specific, I know, but I'd really like to do something creative. I've never been one that's like, if I've ever done like words and things, yeah, but I mean like as in something physical, in terms of like knitting or crochet or painting or something. I'd like to do something like that's a physical something physically creative. Is that the right word? I don't know. But yeah, that doesn't involve actually writing. So either painting or painting a stone or something like that. I don't think I'd do something like knitting because I've never really. I mean, I did it as a kid, like made pom poms and knitted scarves for my Barbies, but it's never been something that's interested us enough. Um, Number 43 is to revisit memories. So by this I mean like places I've lived and played as a child or went to, and I have done a few of these. I went down by where I used to live. Obviously I've been to the beach, which is somewhere that I used to go, and Roker Park is somewhere that I used to go. Um, but it'd still be like a few more that I'd like to do. High Force is a place, I think it's in Durham. I went there when I was really young. It's like a little waterfall place, so that would be nice. Saltwell Park, that's in Gateshead. Went there when I was young. We used to take a picnic and go and play on the aeroplane there, which is probably like the biggest health and safety thing in the world. If it was around these days, then it would be banned. But we loved it. Number 44 is to go and see a comedy show. Absolutely love comedy. I love Peter Kay. I love Lee Evans. I love Russell Howard. Um, and so many more, to be honest. And I would love to just go and see a comedian live. It would be brilliant. Number 45 is to redo my bedroom. I probably would still go for like purple. I think it would be like purple, white, and silver type of thing colours. Um, but it's kind of being pushed to the bottom because I want to do the other rooms first. So yeah, but I've still got 5 years and a bit. Number 46 was to send a letter. Like, nobody ever does that now, do they? They don't actually send letters. Because obviously you've got email and messenger and things like that, so nobody needs to send messages anymore. But I've actually done this. I did it in May this year. A friend of mine who lives further down the country, we swapped letters. So that was really nice. Number 47 is to go swimming. Now, I'm not sure this will ever happen, and when I was able to do it, it absolutely horrified us. It just because I never wanted to do it at school because I always had a verruca, but it was just because of the way I mentally felt about how I looked and things like that. But it would be amazing, and especially sort of the hydrotherapy side of it because of my knees. That would be really useful for my knees and things. And once I do have the operation, whether that will be something I could do because it would probably aid the recovery and help build strength without putting too much pressure on. So yeah, so that's something. Number 48 is to go out in the snow. So obviously I haven't done that for years, and we don't usually get snow here till sort of February. Although we have had it in the likes of June at points, but it's usually around sort of the February time of year. So hopefully next year I'll be able to, even if it's just right at the door, because I wouldn't want to go too far in the wheelchair if it's slippy. But you know what I mean. It would be great to just go out in the snow and chuck a few snowballs off the kids. Just kidding. Number 49 is to see something amazing. That's so like unspecific again, but I don't have an answer for what this would be. But I'm sure when I see it, I'll be able to know. But something will be amazing, won't it? And number 50 is to inspire others. And to sort of help them believe in themselves and realise that they can do things and can change their life and they can move forward. I just really would like to be able to do that because I think like now that I know how I feel and how better I can feel, I want other people to be able to feel that, because if they were in the dark place that I was, then it's such a horrific and horrible thing. Um, and so I want them to know that they can, things can change and things can get better, and encourage them to do so, and in any way I can. That would be amazing. So that's me 50 things. Um, and as I said, I've done a few of them now, and hope to get the rest done by the time I'm 50. So I've got a lot to do, haven't I? But yeah, it's going to be. It's just I'm getting stuttering now. I think just having these sort of goals and stuff, things that I want to achieve and things that I see in the future, and at times, and if I go back to the beginning of this year, all of those, the things that I've already done, all of them seemed like an impossibility at the time, because I didn't have a hoist, I didn't have the sling, I didn't have the the ability to go out and stuff. So all them things that's changed, and although at the time you feel like nothing ever changes and things like that, when you look back and you realise how much you've actually done and how much has actually changed, and just how amazing it is. Um, so yeah. Anyway, thank you to everyone for listening and watching. Please like and subscribe, and if you want to leave a comment and down below, and list any things that you'd like to put in your 50 things before whenever age you're next, um, whatever big birthday you are next. So whether it's your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, 60s, whatever, then please do. Thank you very much. Bye bye.